and welcome to Scotland's Young Makars. This video is a short introduction to Scotland's Young Makars, the poetry programme developed by StAnza Poetry Festival, which is aimed at secondary school aged young people across Scotland and beyond. In other words, hopefully you or someone who you might know. My name is Lucy Burnett and I'm Artistic Director here at StAnza, Scotland's International Poetry Festival. Developing Scotland's Young Makars, or SIM as we like to know it for short, was one of the first things I did when I came into post as director in the spring of 2021. Before this, I'd worked for many years as a lecturer in creative writing at various universities across the UK, where I would repeatedly have the same experience of first year students arriving in my class, holding their hands up high in horror at the prospect of writing poetry and exclaiming, "But I just don't get poetry." It became my mission over the course of my classes to enable these same students and to encourage them, to engage with them, so that they might actually love poetry as much as I do. There are probably as many answers to the question of why people feel they don't get poetry as there are poets. My own answer actually draws on the ideas of a poet called Geoffrey Wainwright. By the age of 12, we're all accustomed to lots of different kinds of reading and writing. But I share with Geoffrey Wainwright the feeling that a lot of these kinds of reading and writing actually work a bit differently from poetry. Because in poetry, how you write is just as important as what is written. In other words, it's a kind of writing in which form is really important, to use some poetry jargon. What do I mean by this? If I asked any one of you to summarise your favourite novel or a short newspaper article if you're into current affairs, then you'd probably be fairly easily able to do so, because the content and meaning is direct. But in poetry, the form, how the poem is written, is just as important to the meaning as what the words say. Let me provide another example of a kind of language which works in this way to try and explain more clearly. If I met you and said, "Knock, knock," then you would most likely reply, "Who's there?" I would reply, "Impatient cow." And before you can answer, "Impatient cow who?" I will have thoroughly embarrassed myself by interrupting you with a loud moo. So far, so good. But imagine that you are an alien just landed on Earth. If I said "knock, knock" to you then you'd probably think, first of all, that I was fairly crazy, and you certainly wouldn't know how to answer. And this is because you wouldn't understand the form and the expectations of knock, knock jokes. What I'm suggesting here, similarly, is that people struggle to engage with poetry sometimes because they read it like they would other more direct kinds of writing and forget to engage with how they are written. So my aim when I put together this programme has been to offer a range of sessions exploring elements of both content and form. After an introductory session to kickstart your writing with Jen Hadfield, you'll explore a range of formal aspects of writing poetry. Cliff Yates will encourage you to be playful with form. This is supposed to be fun after all, is it not? Niall Campbell will help you explore the sounds which a poem makes and the relationship between poetry and song. And Caroline Bird will welcome you into the magical world of metaphors and images. Claire Shaw's session will encourage you to use the senses in your poem so it becomes an experience which readers enter into rather than just words on a page. John Glenday will invite you to write as you speak, and Testament will provide you with tools for writing for performance. This will then be applied to writing about memories with Jeanette Ayachi and place with Jen Hadfield, culminating in a session with me which explores the StAnza 2023 festival theme of wild in the wildest range of ways. For sure, this programme might be of equal interest to many of you who already write and love poetry. Most of the names I've mentioned are likely to be new to you, but they include many of the leading poets and poetry tutors in the UK. So I'm fairly certain that all of those who take part will not only learn a great deal, but have a great time in the process. My favourite quote from last year's participant was, "The workshops were honestly the highlight of my week throughout the month of January. It has been a massive boost to my creative output." So this last year we offered the sessions only in the month of January. This year we've opened it out to the entire autumn term, so there'll be far more sessions. A few details about how the sessions will run. They are offered as webinars, which means that you'll be able to see the tutor, but they won't be able to see you, and you won't be visible either to other participants. If you join via Zoom though, you will be able to speak and participate on chat. Each session will last for roughly 90 minutes with breaks, and the focus throughout will be on lots of writing. After the end of the series of 10 workshops, you will have a chance to submit work, and the 6 most promising writers from each school year group will be selected for one-to-one and group mentoring in January and February with the lead tutor, which will be followed by a reading at StAnza Poetry Festival and potentially other events. The sessions are suitable for engaging with live or in recorded form. Recordings will be uploaded onto this website after the events, and both individually or as a group. Indeed, the sessions would also adapt well to a school writing group if your school already has one, or maybe you think that it might need one and this is the chance. Okay, so I'd planned for this to be a short introduction to SIM, but I already seem to have said quite a great deal. The main thing left to say really is to encourage you to give the sessions a go and to spread the word with your friends and with your school. I'm going to sign out now, but a massive good luck from me, and you'll see me again at the end of the programme for a session on all things poetry and wild. Thank you.